up, YouTube? My name is Carly Fries, and this is my monthly What Did I Read video. I read 5 books. I don't know why I put both my hands up. And I only read 5 books this month. A few of them stood out, a few of them were like, you know, I just read them and that was it. So the first book that I read in August was Everything by Nicola Yoon, and I still have yet to see the film adaptation of this book, and the reason why I wanted to read this book was because I want to watch the film adaptation, and I had obviously a vague idea about what this was about. Well, actually, not a vague idea. You know, trailers these days really give a lot away. So basically, I knew exactly what this book was about, except there's like this huge thing that happens during the book that makes you go, what? I didn't know the story after all. And if you read this book, you obviously know what I'm talking about. I didn't see it coming. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Maybe everyone else knew that that was where the book was going, but I certainly didn't, and that is wow. Anyway, if you want to know what I'm talking about and you want to experience the wow for yourself, then I would suggest reading this book. And the movie looks really good because the main actress is the one who plays Rue in Hunger Games. I love her. That guy, what was he from? Was he in, what's it called? Fifth Wave? Had to look at my bookcase. Was he in the movie adaptation of Fifth Wave? I think he was. So if by some miracle you haven't heard of Everything or seen the trailer, I mean it was everywhere before the movie came out, it's basically about this girl, and she has that like bubble boy disease where basically everything, like germs, like in the air, in the outside world, will kill you. So her life is confined to her house, which is like heavily regulated so that only like pure clean air can go in it, and she kind of like lives vicariously through her neighbors, and she gets new neighbors, one of them which is a teen boy. Did you see that coming? And so she like kind of watches him through his window, and they become friends and start messaging via like, you know, like instant messenger on her computer, and which makes her, you know, like more than ever really, you know, regret not being able to, you know, have a real life. And I'm not going to spoil for you what happens. Another short, quick read that I got into this month was Summer Days and Summer Nights, 12 Love Stories, which is an anthology collection put together by Stephanie Perkins. So basically, Stephanie Perkins is like the queen of YA anthologies. I've read every single one of her anthologies. I've read every single YA anthology pretty much available. Basically what it is, it's a compilation of like 12 short stories by like popular YA authors. I think, who's this one again? There's Cassie Clare, Leigh Bardugo, Veronica Roth, Libba Bray. Stephanie Perkins herself has a story in this collection which is actually, and I've never seen this before, it's a continuation of a short story that Stephanie wrote for another anthology that was, it's my favorite anthology. It's My True Love Gave to Me 12 Holiday Stories, which I read every Christmas time, and basically she wrote a story for that anthology, and she's, in this one she was doing the continuation of that, and just for that story, like this anthology is amazing. But all the other stories were like really good reads as well. I mean, I think like after I read every single short story in any anthology, I like rate them from 1 to 5, and I think there's only maybe 1 or 2 that I would give like a 2. Even then, maybe even a 3, but a lot of them were like solid 4s and 5s. Cassie's story was really good. And Leigh Bardugo's was probably the most interesting one. Speaking of Leigh Bardugo, what other books did I read this month? Finally read Leigh's Six of Crows duology, which is like a continuation, like spin-off duology from the Grisha trilogy. And my boyfriend talked about these books in our video about underrated books and book series, and I gotta tell you something, Cameron. There's a reason they're underrated. They're not that good. I know, this is probably an unpopular opinion. There are booktubers that I follow that do think that these are good books, and it's not that they're not, it's just I wasn't a huge fan. One thing that I can say that I really did enjoy about the series, and that my boyfriend was right about, is that the main character, Kaz, really is like a mad genius at coming up with plans, and like when he explains himself, your mind is like blown sometimes with like where his mind goes and how he's able to like plan things. It is really impressive, and like it's really interesting to read, but the story itself, I just didn't care. And the final and most recent book that I read in the month of August was One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, and this is a recent release. A lot of people are reading this book and talking about it, and I myself heard about it by watching other YouTube videos, and based on the concept, I really wanted to pick it up and give it a read, because I love, like I've talked about this before, I really do like mystery books. It's just there aren't that many in the YA genre, and I'm not a fan of adult mystery books. So basically the premise for this is some Breakfast Club type shit where there are 5 people who find themselves in detention one day. There's the jock, there's the popular girl, there's the nerdy girl, there's the bad boy, and there's Simon, who is, he like runs this gossip website, or app, I think it's an app, where he basically, a la Gossip Girl, like writes about basically everyone in the school, and then he dies. It's not a spoiler, it's literally on the back of, like, it's in the blurb. So yeah, Simon dies during that detention, and every other student that was there, the 4 other ones, they all become suspects in a murder case, and so the story is told from each one of those 4 students' perspectives, and I really enjoyed this book because at first I really thought I knew who did it, but then they start suspecting that person at one point and are like, nah, and I'm like, hey, well, if they even brought that person up, that's not how mysteries operate. Like, if that person's even brought up, it's not them. And I was right, it wasn't them, but I did catch on towards the end, and I totally knew it. Characters themselves are really easy to like. They all have secrets, and those secrets come to light one after the other, and like it just kind of, honestly, the secrets I found made the characters more likable, probably because they become more than just like one-dimensional characters. You put depth to them to, like, you know, explain. Like, there's added depth to them when it's not just like, oh yeah, like the bad boy and the nerdy girl, like there are, you know, layers beneath them. And that's what made this book really good. If you want to know who killed Simon, I would highly suggest reading it yourself, because I'm not gonna tell you. So yeah, that is it for the books that I read in the month of August. Please, if you enjoyed this video, if you, if you read any of these books and you agreed with my opinions, then please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below what books, if any, that you read this month as well. And please subscribe to my channel because I make new videos pretty much every week on the book variety, as well as beauty and unboxings, challenges, tags, pretty much whatever I feel like doing. I mean, if not, why would I do it? Yeah, as always, I thank you guys so much for watching. I do always really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!